and we're going to have a lot of fun this afternoon. It's going to be a fun, full-packed auction, and we're going to get kick-started now with one of the featured artists for this weekend, and we're going to go live to her now, and that's going to be Aprajita Lil. Aprajita, are you there? Hi, how are you? Struggling, just struggling to get the sound right at the moment. If you can just bear with us. Yeah, we just can't hear the sound. Just want to see maybe if it's... There we go.
I was mute.
There we go. You were mute. Good.
Hi, good to see both of you again.
Yeah,
Great to see you.
Welcome back. And I think the last time was Nat and myself, and I think you were in India then, right? Were you visiting family?
I was in India. I'm back in my studio. Hence, you see a lot of works behind me.
There we go, back from vacation and back painting, right? And it's good to have you with us this weekend, Aprajita. And when you think about your style, right, it's all inspired by nature. And we know that you live there in New Jersey. You know, can you take us a little bit more about your creative process? Because I know there's a lot of returning collectors this weekend, but there's quite a few collectors this weekend which will be seeing your artworks for the first time. So can you just take us through your creative process and how you get inspired to create these incredible landscape paintings?
Well, nature has always been very close to me. I grew up in India in a very small town because it was a smaller town. So there was, the nature was way more prettier than the big cities, right? So I used to get up to a beautiful sunrise, and there were times when we would sleep on the terrace and stargazing, of course, looking at beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Getting up to hearing a lot of birds chirping and all of that stuff. So it was, it was something that I was very close to while growing up. And when I moved here in 2018, I was amazed how East Coast has all of these four seasons so distinctively beautiful. And again, Jersey being a garden state, it is so beautiful and green. There's so many beautiful trails and things to look out for. I was just inspired to, paint and freeze those moments in time. When I paint cherry blossom, the whole idea is that the cherry blossoms last only for some 15 days time span and it just announces the arrival of spring, but that beauty remains with you either in your memories. So I decided to paint a lot of cherry blossoms on my canvases. The flowers, the colors of the fall season, the beauty of snow all around, and then the colorful sunset. All of these things, they're just so exciting and enchanting to me, and hence I just love seeing this magic around me, and at the same time painting those. So I just enjoy nature.
You do a fantastic job capturing nature for sure, Aprajita. And one thing that really stands out for me when I look at your artwork is going to be the way you capture light. You've got that incredible ability to capture light and make it shine through your works of art. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration, maybe from previous artists, and what really inspires you to capture the light in the way you do?
Well, so this just I think I used to look at lot of artists and paintings, but at the same time, I didn't know it became an automatic process that I started realizing that most of my paintings, I get drawn to light, and that's what I end up painting. So it was not that I was trying to see somebody to paint light, but it just became an integral part of most of my paintings. When I'm even looking at a green tree outside right now for summers, right? When I look at that, I see how the light falls on the top of the tree and how the shades start falling on the leaves underneath. So I just enjoy seeing the play of light and shadow generally. And it just became, it just became an integral part of most of my paintings unknowingly. And when I started looking at my works, I didn't go to an art school. I didn't know that, there are certain ways of doing certain things. I was just trying to see, what is it that ties my paintings together, And as you rightly pointed out, Morne, I think light and shadow had a big role in, me looking at something, getting attracted to or inspired to paint. And I'm, you know, it just became something that is part of most of my paintings, if
Absolutely love
not
that.
all.
And yeah, that ties us in perfectly into the work of art right next to me, which is titled Breaking Through. And you talk about green tree, you're looking outside now at a green tree. This has got that shades of green in it and that light penetrating there through the center. It really makes the artwork come alive. It illuminates it in some sense. Where was this artwork? Where does the inspiration come from this artwork? Did you do traveling? Did you look outside? I know there's a couple of artworks where you just look outside in your garden and you get inspiration for it.
Yeah, so I think this was inspired from one of the trails that I did. I enjoy going for little, hikes and trails in early mornings of, early summer. I would say I cannot go for a trail now; it's too hot outside. And at the same time, I enjoy these in the fall season. So another 2 weeks down the line, I think we'll see this scene all around us. So this is just the onset of autumn. Still, there are a lot of greenery around, and the way the light is breaking through those dense woods is what I was trying to capture. And I truly enjoyed creating this. I even enjoyed, adding those lot of textures in the ground, which shows a lot of fallen leaves, twigs, and the ground being rough. So it's how nascent or how beautiful and untouched the nature is around us. There are rocks, there are twigs, there are tiny wild flowers or a lot of fallen leaves and stuff. So I just it's a lot of my experiences, some memories. So I mostly paint in my studio and not on the scene. So this is always a collection of a lot of these things together. It's not a specific place that I painted,
Okay.
but
Perfect. So you
yeah.
just let your instinct, your intuition guide you, and you captured in such a wonderful way. And this is an artwork that was chosen to be published, ladies and gentlemen. So, which means that there is going to be limited edition graphic works available for collectors to collect around the world. We'll be offering that. Parkwest, we got an incredible platform. We're over 100 different cruise ships. We do in-person events around the world on cruise ships and also throughout the United States, and of course on the online telecast. And you've got an opportunity this weekend to get one of the marquee pieces within our collection from Aprigita Lal. Still at a fantastic price point because Aprigita is new to Park West, and her journey is just beginning. And we've had such a great response with her works of art, and she's got incredible ability to capture texture and a mood. Right, for me, it's got a real calming effect when you look at this work of art, and it's going to be coming away at $21,600. And during the interview, the artworks are available for bidding. So, folks, at any given time, go ahead, feel free, and you can click to bid. This is going to be at $21,600. When you collect this work of art as well, we will include the graphic work also in the condition of sale. So at $21,600 now, going once. $21,600 now, going twice. Last chance here now at $21,600. All right, we'll bring it back a little bit later on in the auction, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, we're going to throw it over to Nanat. He's got one of your newer paintings, which I absolutely love, Aprigita, right next to him.
It's definitely one of my favorite. This is obviously dappled steps, and actually we're going a little deeper into autumn, right? This happened maybe a couple of weeks after you've done the previous piece, I guess, right?
That's true. That's true.
I like that. Well, can you just walk us a little bit through the process when you approach the canvas? This is obviously a large format, which I really like because it's very inviting when you look at when you stand in front of it live. And camera's doing a great job, but when you do stand in front of this live, folks, you really feel like you want to step in. It has the depth and three-dimensional feel to it. So when you approach this canvas, how did you start from the center? Did you work out your the actual sides first, and then finalized with the actual steps? What's your process? Would you be able to share with us a little bit?
Of course. So most of my paintings start with where the glow should be, and basis that this painting, in this painting, I decided to keep it backlit. So there's a lot of glow in the back. But then I just placed a few trees. I'm not somebody who spends a lot of time sketching. Most of the composition is in my head, and I just placed these steps and a few trees, and then the rest of the piece started coming along. And there's a funny incident. When I started painting this one, I asked my younger daughter, who is now turning 14, I asked her, can you take a video while I'm painting this? And I started putting colors on the canvas, and she said, oh, painting is something that you just have to trust in the process, because she was not able to understand how I was going about the painting. And she was like, it's, I think, Mom, I don't get it, but it's like trusting the process, and I trust that. So it has lots of layers. And when I create a painting, obviously it stays on my easel for, little longer than ideally it should, because it just evolves slowly and gradually, and I keep going back and looking at it from different angles. It stays in front of me for good 4 or 5 days. After I feel that I've finished it, I take another 5 days to actually put a signature, because I need to be sure that this is complete. And another fun fact I'll tell you is, it's very hard to, I think, for most of the artists to know when to stop, right? Because we can just keep going back and adding details, but when to stop is the toughest part. And that's where, I added these smaller trees on the sides, smaller bushes. But I think they just complemented the painting so beautifully. And it's for me, it's more intuitive and more that, the painting should talk to me. And this is one of those challenging pieces where I tried to stick to a color palette, and then I went back and added these, the teal highlights on the trees, and I think they just created the whole, they just brought the whole piece alive by giving that little contrast.
Yes, it did. I have to agree with you. And I have to agree with you when you say that about artists not being able to know when to finish. Our dear beloved artist, Itzhak Tarkai, he actually would keep working on his paintings, and it really took his wife to come into the studio and say, hey, it's finished. Send it to the gallery. We need to get a check. So yeah, you could be working and working on it for days and weeks to come. But you have done a fantastic job by adding those leaves and really got the composition tied in together. And it's very invitational and very calming. This is a beautiful piece that anyone could enjoy coming home from hectic days of work and just kind of being able to come into this place and of tranquility. I love it. So folks, it's an original acrylic painting. It's 2024, so obviously one of the newer paintings by Aprajita. It's a fantastic opportunity. I love that you get a lot of painting for, in my opinion, not a lot of money. That's $10,800. And we have 48 by 36 canvas. Take a look at that. It literally is like a window into the nature, folks. At $10,800 right now, you can go ahead and click to bid. It is open for bidding right now at 10.8. So you can go ahead and click to bid right now. I see so many likes right now streaming in. Thank you very much, guys. So for all of you that like it, you can go ahead and click to bid right now. The opening bid is 10.8 now. It is open, and you can go ahead and click to bid and snatch it at maybe at the opening bid. We don't know. 10.8 now, but wholesale now at $10,800 right now. At 10.8 now, but ladies and gentlemen, how about at 10.8 now for the dappled steps right now, but 10.8. It's $10,800 for a fantastic piece. And I love that feel of that glow at the back. As you said, it really lit up from the back. Almost feels like there's a real light that is shining through those trees. It's a fantastic piece right here. At 10.8 now, but ladies and gentlemen, going once. At 10.8 now, going twice. Fair and final warning now at $10,800 right now, but ladies and gentlemen. All righty. For right now, of course, we're not going to close any biddings. We're just going to pass it over for right now, as this will be available throughout the auction. Make sure you speak to your concierge. We can bring it up whenever you're ready. But now Morna on his easel has something totally different here, and I love the texture in that. Morna, that's awesome.
Yeah, very unique work that I have next to me here at Progita. And what we're going to see here is the Sapphire Whispers. It's the Emerald Dreams. And as we get in there with the camera, this is going to be a mixed media painting, right? So different mediums. Now, I'm not sure if we can get another camera angle. We can get right up and close to this work of art and get the texture for you folks. But at Progita, what you got here is going to be incorporation of soil and grass. Is that, am I correct saying that?
So yes, it's more of an aerial view of the islands in the ocean. That's what I was trying to capture, but then I just experimented with lots of textures in this to give it more of a 3D feel and give it a look where you can actually sense and feel the greenery on those tiny islands from up in the air. Uh, yeah, you know, uh, I remember in one of my VIP events, Erhard asked me, "Is that a real grass?" I was like, "Can it be?" If it was real. So it is, of course, it's an artificial moss and grass that I bought and added to this so that it just stays like this forever, But it's a conversational piece. I love water. I love uh, nature in any form, whether it is the woods, the water, the flowers, the blossoms, and yeah, this is one of the waterscapes that I did earlier last year.
Absolutely loved it. I love the fluidity within the color tones in the water. As you know, with the water, the different depth will reflect the different coloration of water. And you're going to see the lighter, more crystal clear water there closer to the islands. And then you get the deeper blues. And I love the way that you blended this color. This is going to be great for a beach house, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to open the bidding here now at $8,550. At $8,550 now. You can click the bid. It's a unique work, and it's got a lot of texture to it, folks. Once you get it, you're going to really get up and close and personal and experience that texture. It's certainly going to be a conversational piece. $8,550. That's under $10,000 for a large size. This one is 40 by 30 at $8,550. Not going once, twice. Last chance here now at $8,550. Okay, for now we're going to pass and move along, and we've got another work there next to Nanette.
Well, here we have what you talked about early on, everlasting cherry blossoms, as you mentioned, rightly so. They don't last very long, right? So I'm really happy that you managed to paint this so we get to enjoy this forever. As the title will say, everlasting cherry blossoms. In fact, earlier this year in April, late April, I was in Tokyo with my family, and we unfortunately missed to see all the cherry blossoms because they were already gone, right? But folks, here we have the cherry blossoms, everlasting cherry blossoms by Progita. You created this earlier this year. Was it obviously at the time the cherry blossoms were up and blooming?
As soon as the cherry blossoms were gone, that's when I thought, oh my God, they're gone. I need to do something to keep them in my studio.
Wow, well,
it was
that's
exactly when I'm like, and that is how I decided to call it everlasting cherry blossoms, because that was my only way to freeze that moment in time. But yes, I just played around more with the background colors because I wanted to keep it dreamy and misty. And I thoroughly enjoyed creating this one.
you can feel that by looking at it. It is just joyful feel. Just simply looking at it, it's something to embrace. Obviously, with the cherry blossom, I don't know if it's subconscious, but when you see this, it just uplifts you. So, folks, this is something that you can enjoy every day, all year round in your home. You don't have to wait for the spring, and it's going to uplift you. It's only $7,200, folks, so you can go ahead and click the bid. It's an original acrylic on canvas, frame edited, shipped, of course, at $7,200 right now, ladies and gents, and it's open for bid right now. So open for bid now, but at $7,200 now. You can click to bid now, but at $7,200. It's $7,200 now, but ladies and gentlemen, $7,200 now. Who's saying up at $7,200? At $7,200 right now, but at $7,200, ladies and gentlemen. It's $7,200 now, but ladies and gents, go ahead and click to bid at $7,200 for the everlasting cherry blossoms. At $7,200 right now, but ladies and gents, at $7,200. Again, we're not closing any bidding. We just wanted to give you opportunity while Aprijit is here with us, speaking to us live, to go ahead and click to bid. But of course, these will be available throughout the entire auction, so you can call them whenever you're ready. We can click to you can speak to your concierge. We're going to sneak them right into the auction. For right now, let's go over to Mornay.
All right, thank you, Nanad. And Aprijita, I've got one of your watercolors, and I want to take some time to talk about your watercolors, because for me, this is really what stands out. You've got the ability to paint with acrylic, you've got those alcohol ink paintings, but your watercolors, they are just on a different level. And this is an artwork. When I saw it in the catalog, but then once I got to the studio and I was standing in front of it, it just took my breath away. And what we're going to find here is going to be echoes of the sea. And it's got a mood to it, but you get that light there coming out from the horizon. But again, you get the stormy seas with the stormy skies. Tell us a little bit more about the particular subject matter, but also the watercolors, right? So how long have you been painting with watercolor, and is that going to be one of your favorite mediums to paint with?
As you rightly said, yes, watercolors is my favorite medium to paint with. And I enjoy painting them loose, but at the same times I do create. I always start very loose with my watercolors. It's more about me knowing where the light is supposed to be, and as you know, in watercolors, there's no concept of having a